Tonight on Iyanla Fix My Life, the nurse who made headlines.
I honestly don't know how I got where I am today.
Now she's a convicted felon under house arrest.
I'm stuck living in my own personal hell right now.
And her family is crumbling.
The difference between Tess and I is that she's selfish.
You can never, ever say positive things.
Holding on is what creates the underbelly of mistrust and anger and nastiness.
Iyanla must uncover what is really going on.
I got your back. I've got broken little girls, each fighting for the little bit of attention. I just don't know how to repair the damage y'all have done to each other.
Next.
Life happens to everybody, even me. Life didn't care that I had written a bunch of books, traveled the world speaking, lived in my dream home, and made a bunch of money. And then life left me broke and feeling broken. The only way to get back was to do the work. I did my work and put my life back together piece by piece. I am Iyanla Vanzant, and I am here to help you do your work.
I am here in the great state of Minnesota. And I believe that whatever is going on in the heartland of America is going on all over the country.
Hi, Mom. Hi, buddy.
Before becoming front page news in her small Minnesota town, Tess Johnson was living a typical Midwestern life with a successful career as a head nurse, a husband, and 3 children.
I honestly don't know how I got where I am today. In December of 2011, I started losing feeling in my left leg. I had an MRI and they discovered I had a ruptured disc, and so I had surgery that day. Was on prescription pills for quite some time.
Just 2 weeks after surgery, Nurse Tess went back to work, but she was far from healed.
There was times where I would sit down and take 10 tablets in an hour span. I knew that I was obviously hooked on the medication, but as a nurse, I didn't know how to reach out to anybody and say, hey, I have an issue, which led to me ultimately taking pain pills from work.
For 3 months, Nurse Tess says she stole pain pills from nearly 300 of her patients and took them herself. Then one day, her thefts were discovered.
When the detectives came to my house, I was relieved. I thanked him probably 100 times because I didn't have to lie anymore.
Nurse Tess's arrest and sentencing were all over the news.
And I ended up getting 4 years probation, 400 hours of community service, home monitoring for 6 months.
After completing rehab, Tess is now a convicted felon who is on house arrest and has to wear an ankle monitoring bracelet and submit to random drug tests.
I think that we need to confront her and say, what you have done is wrong, Tess.
But that's the least of her problems. Tess feels that her 3 sisters and even her own mother have turned their backs on her.
The difference between Tess and I is that she's selfish.
Some of my family members have said, you know, I'm ashamed by what she's done. She shamed our name. I'm embarrassed.
I think with Tess being the youngest, the life she has had as a kid of being spoiled has carried on to her as an adult. I think she needs to grow up.
She is selfish and she is very money hungry.
I'm very angry with Tess because I think that she is very selfish and it's all about Tess.
And she's never said to me, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry for what I did. I do think she has a problem, but I don't believe it's the drugs. I think it's just her personality.
Something that's very common in families is that when something happens to one person, the entire family takes it on. And that creates a lot of problems, a lot of difficulty.
I'm meeting with Nurse Tess, 3 of her older sisters and her mother at her home to find out what's really going on and if her family is actually kicking her while she's down.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you Tess?
I'm Tess.
Hi, Tess.
Come on in.
I'm Iyanla. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. So y'all look scared.
We've seen your show.
Really? So let me ask you, why am I here?
You're here to make us a stronger family, rebuild bonds that have been broken.
How? How have bonds been?
Mistrust. I feel now that this happened with Tess, and there's this stigma of shame out there or embarrassment.
Shame?
That's what I feel like my sister.
I am not embarrassed what Tess did. She's assuming that I was ashamed of Tess. I was never ashamed of Tess in that way.
I wasn't assuming.
I'm ashamed of Tess in her attitude, but I'm not ashamed of what she did.
So, Mama Gwen?
Yes.
Why am I here? Why am I here?
Because we don't always get along. We don't agree. We have hard feelings toward each other. We say bad things to each other. And that includes me.
Yeah. Miss Tess, why do you think I'm here? Can I have the tissues, please? Is that waterproof mascara? If not, this is gonna be a hot mess by the end.
We're all hot messes.
Why do you think I'm here?
I'm stuck right now. I'm stuck living in this, my own personal hell right now. I'm full of resentment and I'm pissed off. I'm pissed at the things that they're saying. I'm tired of it. Like, I worked really hard on recovering from my addiction. I was so peaceful when I left treatment, and I felt good about myself, and I felt like things were gonna be okay, and I feel like I'm going right back to where I was prior to that.
Well, it's kind of hard to be peaceful when people are constantly throwing this up in your head. Is this why y'all think I'm here? Y'all think I'm here because of this, right?
I don't believe that's why you're really here. I think it's for more than that. There's things that happen in the past, all our life, when we grew up, when we were babies, that I think you're here for.
Let me tell you why I'm here, because I want y'all to be real clear why I'm here. I'm not here to make you feel bad. That's why that has absolutely no significance to me whatsoever. I'm a minister. And this work is my ministry. And I am a life coach. Now, as your coach, I'm here to help you understand what you do, how you do it, and whether or not it works. I'm here because you're not winning at your game. I'm here to interrupt your patterns, because your patterns of thinking and being, you knowing how right you are and how wrong somebody else is, we are not here to fix Tess. Because she's not the only player on the field. Hello?
I hear nothing but negative from you. Nothing but put downs from you. I never hear anything good.
What did I just say today? What did I just say today? I said you're an awesome nurse. Is that a put down?
But you screwed it up because you took the pill.
Gina, I've been here 2 days and you're so busy pointing at them.
And I'm going to point at them. They have broke my heart.
But what I want
They
you to
have hurt me so bad, and you will never understand. I've done enough. I need to leave for a little bit.
I'm in rural Minnesota, where for months, Nurse Tess stole pain pills from her patients to feed her addiction, eventually getting arrested and becoming the talk of her small town. She was publicly disgraced in the headlines. And privately, it seems as if her own family has turned on her.
Why she's doing the thing she did, why she did the drug thing, because I don't understand.
Because Tess hasn't grown up.
We have hard feelings toward each other. She doesn't say to us that she's sorry to any of us in the family that she did this.
Hello? I'm coming.
The work here is to support these women, these sisters, to know that before they point their fingers at Tess, it would serve them well to take a good look in the mirror.
I always find it very interesting that people always seem to know what's wrong with somebody else and can barely figure out what's wrong with their own self. I think that, however, that until we can really stand in somebody's shoes, we really can't have too much to say about what's going on. Tess, I want you to come stand here for me. And I'm going to take my seat right over here. So I want you to take this walk for me and tell us, share with us about your missteps. So you're on the first step. Face your walk. Close your eyes. Take a breath. And repeat and complete this. I was less than my greatest self when I
was less than my greatest self.
When I
was practicing as a nurse and I diverted drugs.
Great, that's a great story. Take a step. Why'd you do that, Miss Tass?
I was making myself feel better.
Why?
Because I didn't feel good enough.
Okay, take another step. You're doing good. You know how far to go. Go on now.
I am jealous of other people.
Such as who?
Gina.
I was jealous of Gina because why?
Because she had a relationship with my dad that I did not have.
Very good. That's a good step. Go ahead. What else? Let's talk about the stuff that you're really ashamed of. Let's talk about that.
I'm ashamed because I violated people's trust.
And I'm ashamed because it's right here, Miss Tess. It's right here. And they don't have to approve of it. I'm ashamed because
I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough.
That's right. For
anybody,
yes.
anything.
Okay. Wow. Wow. You know what she just did? That's what she just did. We all have one. And sometimes we're so busy watching and talking about how other people take their walk until we don't even know how to take ours. So Miss Kayla, come on, take your walk.
Oh boy, here we go. This will be fun.
Yeah, it sure will be.
Whenever there's a strong judgment about someone else, it's usually a cover-up for a story we don't want to tell about ourselves. Each of these women has their own story of shame.
I was less than my greatest self when?
I was less than my greater self when I drank. I didn't like who I was.
A lot?
Enough to get me in trouble.
What does that mean? I got in trouble drinking.
I had a DWI. It meant that I didn't have freedoms that I had before because I was restricted in whether I could go somewhere or not go somewhere.
Oh, you mean like her ankle bracelet?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. It made my self-worth less.
Because of something
Because of something I had done. I felt like I brought them shame.
Okay.
I was more concerned about...
So look at us. Tell them.
I felt like I brought you shame when I had my DUI. And I just feel like they didn't ever hear me.
You didn't ever hear me.
I feel like all of them didn't ever hear me.
Thank you, Miss Kayla.
No.
I'm holding your hand, Mama, because I know a lot of this is going to fall in your lap. Who's the next eldest? That would be you.
Wow.
Miss got so much to say. I was less than my greatest self when, and I want you to look at her, because you're telling her story.
Okay.
Not Tessa's story, not Kayla's story, not your mom's story, not your daughter's story. You're telling her story.
I felt less than greatest when my sister Kayla and Tess both think that I'm stupid.
No. What does she need to work on? Does she need to work on listening, speaking kinder?
And I don't know what to say because they belittled me, I think, all my life.
Okay. So, and what did you do in response to feeling belittled?
Lash out.
Own
the
it.
way I lash out at people as I say mean things to them.
Does she bully y'all emotionally?
I feel like...
It would be a yes or a no.
Yes.
Call a thing a thing.
I will say that my sister Tess got the raw end of the deal. My parents were older.
Let me tell you something. You can't be on this walk talking about Tess And maybe that's part of the challenge, that you've got so much to say about everybody else and so little to say about her. How about that? I think it's very interesting that you can't get beyond half the mat, so I'm gonna move on to Miss Darcy. Lord, we're gonna be here till lunchtime. Yeah. However you want to tell your story, you tell it, Miss Darcy.
I was less than my best self when I chose to spend my time alone in the casino.
I got your back. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Go ahead. You went to the casino, and what did you do?
I used my kids' money.
Darcy says that after her ex-husband died, she gambled and lost the money he had left for their children.
And as a result, what happened?
And as a result of what happened, I've lost a relationship with my children.
Yeah. And that makes you feel?
Shame, because I can't give my kids the things that they deserved and that were theirs. What they had a right to and I didn't. I deserve greater punishment than what they gave me. When I was on probation for the result of taking the children's money.
Why you want more? You just...
It's not that I want, it's just that's what I feel I deserved is more.
I just find it very sad and interesting that nobody in here has permission to make a mistake. You know, sometimes when somebody's in trouble or hurting, all you have to do is walk with them. You don't have to try to fix it for them. Just let them know that you're there. She been on probation. You was drunk. She was gambling. What the hell? How do y'all get to talk about each other? You've got a daughter who drank, one who gambled, and one who stole pills.
That
all
is up to you.
To cover up
Anybody else.
what's going on inside. If we don't get this cleared out, this whole family is going to implode.
Well, she's going to walk out, and so I'm trying to avoid her to walk out.
That's her choice.
No, it's not, because we're a family. We have to.
Excuse me. If you want to walk out, you walk out.
I'm in Minnesota, working with a family coping with the aftermath of an embarrassing fall from grace.
I diverted drugs.
Nurse Tess had a successful career as a head nurse until it was discovered that she was stealing pain meds from her patients. She is now a convicted felon. Her movements are tracked by an ankle monitor, and she is required to submit to random drug testing.
I think we're all angry with what my sister has done.
But while this family drama might look like it's all about Tess, it's really about four sisters, each with her own wounds to heal.
I was less my greater self when I drank.
You went to the casino, and what did you do?
I used my kids' money.
Does she bully y'all emotionally?
I feel like
it would be a yes or a no.
Yes.
If we don't get this cleared out, this whole family is going to implode.
In order for this family to heal, each of these sisters needs to stop pointing fingers and start examining how they all got here.
The walk of shame is owning up to what you have done and how you've made us feel. It's owning up that you were crappy to us.
It's taking accountability for yourself.
Yes.
Instead of putting it on everybody else.
Then Tess, okay, you want me to be accountable for my stuff, then vice versa.
I hear nothing but negative from you. Nothing but put downs from you.
What did I just say today? I said you're an awesome nurse. Is that a put down?
Unless,
is that a put
but
down?
There's always a but attached to it.
It's never, you're an awesome nurse, your patients loved you, I feel bad that you're not there, but you screwed it up because you took the pills.
Tess,
yes, it is. It's always
Tess,
a but attached to it. You can never, ever
Tess, you
say
hear what you want to hear.
Before you say something, you have to say, how is that going to come across? Can I say that in a nicer way? Well, she's going to walk out, and so I'm trying to avoid her to walk out.
That's her choice.
No,
She's
it's
grown.
not, because we're a family. We have to.
Excuse me. It's her choice. She gets to choose.
what she wants to do and not do. If you want to walk out, you walk out. That's your choice. Now, you've been weeping and crying for the last half an hour. Why? What did you ask for when you were in pain or when you were struggling? Did you ask for help?
No.
Why?
I don't know. Who do I ask?
I see now that the three of y'all are there and she's over here by herself. So I'm coming over here. Not because I'm taking sides. I guess I don't get it. Because I had one sister, my big sister. And she used to get on my darn nerves telling me what to do. So when I got to be about 50 and she got on my last nerve one good time, I fixed her. I stopped speaking to her. I sure did. I didn't speak to her for 3 years. And the next time I saw her, she was dead. Dead.
When people do not have an effective emotional vocabulary, they will turn on each other.
Miss Gina, you're mean. Why? What is that hurt? What is that abuse? What is that? Where did you learn that?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know.
Do this for me. Close your eyes.
Okay.
And ask your heart.
I think my mom was mean.
Yeah.
I feel that she was.
Mothers teach their children by example, either to be loving or hateful. Many don't even know that they are doing it. So I want to speak to the one woman these sisters all have in common.
Gwen.
Their mother.
How this mother sat there and watched her 4 daughters wretch their hearts out without embracing one of them says to me, that mother left home a long time ago and never came back.
It is.
Here's what I want you to get. Miss Tess compromised her personal integrity and her professional integrity to take painkillers.
Right.
The reason people take painkillers is because they're in pain.
I didn't know she was in pain.
Right. And the reason you didn't know she was in pain is because
I was
she
jealous.
didn't feel, huh?
I was jealous of her.
Were you?
Yes. They could do things that I could never do. I could never become a nurse. I didn't feel I had the skills to be anything more than a mother.
In that day and age, that was about it. Get you a good man, a good husband. Tell me about your relationship with your husband.
I loved him very much.
Now, did you have one of your children before you got married, or you got pregnant with one of your
I got
kids?
pregnant. I was 2 months pregnant when I got married.
But you married him?
Yeah. I came from a very poor family. I felt like when I told him that I was pregnant, I felt like he's going to tell me to get lost, you know.
So do you think he married you because you were pregnant?
No, I think he married me because he loved me. We did have our problems. He was gone a lot, and I think that's what happened when he found somebody else for.
So he had a affair.
I just thought that there had to be something wrong with me, something missing, and try to commit suicide in a certain. I don't say I wanted to.
You didn't want to die.
I didn't want to die. I
just wanted to
wanted
make
the
a point.
attention or something, you know. But I don't think that he ever stopped loving me.
And y'all were together how long?
47 years.
You do have the ability here to be something more than just a wife and a mother. I think here that you have an opportunity to demonstrate the power of being a woman.
Thank you.
I think you can do that.
It's apparent that Miss Gwen was unable to be fully present for each of her daughters.
I think I'm gonna talk to Miss Tess for a little bit.
Okay.
I've got broken little girls who were never validated, who were never heard, who were never seen, who don't know they're important. Each fighting for the little bit of attention that they think is on the table. If you hadn't got caught, would you have stopped?
Probably not.
Who are you, Miss Tess?
A mom.
A mom.
And at times, was being a nurse more important to you than being a mom?
For sure.
Just like sometimes being a wife was more important to your mother than being a mom.
For sure.
Who are you going to be if you cannot be a nurse?
I don't know.
Well, that's what you got to figure out. Because if the calling is still on your life, then you're going to find a way to use your nursing. How many young mothers need a nurse to come and help them with a physically challenged child? How many people are choosing to do chemo and hospice at home because they don't want to die in hospitals? And when somebody is dying of cancer, they really don't care that their nurse made a mistake that broke man's law.
Forgive me. I thought I was doing right. But I failed.
So it's day 2 here in the heartland of America.
I am taking this family to a new location today, so my team had to get special permission from Tessa's probation officer to leave her house, even for just a few hours. Yesterday, these sisters admitted to popping pills, drinking, bullying, and gambling. But because they don't know how to work on themselves, they're taking aim at each other.
It's clear to me that this is a family of women that does not have an emotional vocabulary. She who hurts worse and strikes out fastest gets the attention and the help. That's what y'all do. You're in competition, and the way you compete is through attack. You attack each other. Because see, I'm just here banging my head up against the wall. I'm looking at how do I have a 2-parent household with daughters end up having jacked up relationships with their children, taking painkillers, gambling, DUIs. The thing is that I keep coming back to, some children do what they're told to do. Some do what they're told not to do. But all children do what their parents have done. And this level of meanness and nastiness, it's got to be coming from you.
I agree.
Has to be coming from you.
There was physically 2 parents, but there really wasn't 2 parents.
Mm-hmm.
She was too tied up in her own feelings for my dad.
And as a result?
I resent her, and I'm angry with her. I can remember being in South Dakota with Dad on the road, and I got sunburned so bad I was throwing up. And I told you I didn't want to go out to eat and wanted you to stay with me, and I was like just a little kid, and you just took off with Dad for supper and just left me there alone. You just brushed me aside and were acting like I didn't mean anything to you. But then you would tell me how I was your baby when he wasn't there.
Your mom comes from a time when the greatest a woman could hope for was to have a husband and a family. That's just the time she came from. It doesn't negate your experience. What needs to be spoken, beloved? Because see, holding on is what creates the underbelly of mistrust and anger and resentment and nastiness. You gotta get that stuff out. I feel what I need to say is, just start there. Just let it bubble up to the surface. And it doesn't have to make sense, Darcy.
Never been good enough.
That's how you felt.
I've never, ever, ever remember ever getting a true, honest, loving hug.
We've reached out to Darcy, and we know she's suffering. She just doesn't want us to help her.
After remarrying and having another child, Darcy says that she's now in an unhappy relationship.
I accept the relationship that I have. He's there, I'm there. We don't talk.
And you sacrifice yourself, why?
Because I won't separate my daughter from her father.
How about because you're not important? How about because you don't matter? How about that?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So, when you look there, and you see that, your child, what do? What do you do?
You do mean something. I'm sorry I never told you that. You do count.
Here's the good news, Miss Gwen. Some mothers go to their grave and never get the opportunity to say to their children, please forgive me. But you have the opportunity today to say to your grown daughters, please forgive me.
I'm saying that now. Forgive me. I thought I was doing right, but I failed. And I'm sorry. Forgive me for it.
The emotional language to clean up all of this stuff in the back is forgiveness. I forgive you, Mama. I forgive you. That's all we can do now. What needs to be spoken, said, that has not been spoken, that will support this family in healing, and that has this woman right here just locked up? Something is making you mean, boo.
I don't feel respected by any of these. Not one of them.
Gina, I've been here 2 days. I've been asking you all kind of questions, and you're so busy pointing at them.
And I'm going to point at them. They have broke my heart.
But when I want you to...
They have hurt me so bad, and you will never understand. They don't understand. They think what they've done and said is okay, and it's not okay with me anymore. I've done enough. I'm going to take care of myself now.
Yes, you are.
And that is what I'm going to do.
You can shake your head, Tess.
Why are you talking to her? You're supposed to be talking to me.
I am, but she's sitting there shaking her head.
That's her head. She can shake her head, roll her eyes, suck her teeth. It doesn't matter.
Gina may feel her sisters belittle her, but I see Gina's anger and finger pointing as a way for her to distract them and herself from her own issues.
I don't know. I just don't know how to repair the damage that y'all have done to each other. I don't know how to repair that. I want to give you a kind of moment to regroup, if that's okay. Yeah?
When faced with the possibility of sharing their true feelings with each other, fear kicks in.
I need to leave for a little bit.
Gina runs out of the house, taking control of her sisters and the healing process.
It's either gonna make or break me, and it's gonna break me because I'm going home, and it's never gonna be the same.
Are you okay, Mom? Are you okay?
Not really.
And I don't know if I'll ever see my sisters or my mom again. Please help me get through this. And I don't know if I'll ever see my sisters or my mom again. Please help me get through this.
Kayla, I don't even want to be with you guys.
Just stop.
I told Mom this and I feel it.
Stop. Don't say
I'm going home, Kayla. And you will never see me again.
Will you stop?
That she does not want to see her mother or her sisters ever again.
It's just, she doesn't have the emotional language to respond other than with hysteria.
For years, these sisters have covered up their feelings of rejection by acting out. But I sense their mother was masking a pain of her own.
What kind of face is that?
Well, now, what kind of face should we have?
Tell me what's going on.
Well, I don't know. Gina is just upset.
Miss Gwen, what would it take to make it better for you now?
I would want my girls just to become better friends.
Can I ask you a question, Miss Gwen?
Sure.
I just see this thing that just continues to bother me. So let me say, please forgive me first. Were you abused in your marriage?
I'll say this, when we were out and we had drinks and that, at times I was abused.
Did your children see it?
They didn't see it, but they would.
Yes, we did, Mom.
Well, I didn't think they did.
And I can remember sitting on the top bunk, peeking out the door, screaming and crying, asking someone to help you guys because he was dragging you up the stairs to your room. And you were so intoxicated, you were belligerent, abusive back to him. I never felt safe with you two.
But let me ask you a question, another question, so please forgive me.
Okay.
How have you self-medicated to hide your pain? How have you done it?
Oh, I tried cutting my wrists.
So, cutting your wrists, that's self-abuse.
Pain medication for years.
For years.
Years.
And drinking too much.
That's Kayla. And the pain meds, that's Tess. And do you have any idea what the pain is or was that you've been masking?
It was that I never felt good about myself, ever.
Darcy.
This is a family of women in pain. They self-medicate by taking pills, drinking, and being nasty.
Caleb, going home.
This is the way they have learned to cope and to avoid dealing with the real issues.
Isn't it interesting that your mom used or uses pain meds, and you too? And it seems to me, as I'm sitting here, you're more like her than you even knew.
Oh my God, I know I am.
I just wanted her to be something I wasn't.
Wow.
I wanted her to be the perfect wife and the perfect mother, perfect daughter.
Well, perfect.
And I think I wanted that for all my kids. Not perfect, but I wanted them to be better than I felt myself. Caleb, going home.
When I arrived in Minnesota, this family thought I was here to help Nurse Tess deal with the aftermath of her public disgrace. But as it turns out, she wasn't the only one in need of healing. After spending the last 2 days yelling at her sisters and threatening to run away, Gina agreed to talk to me.
So what needs to be said?
I'm scared to say a thing. I really am. If I say something about me, then it's all about me. If I point fingers, that's wrong. I don't know what to say. I'm confused.
I think on some level, you may be experiencing some symptoms of emotional ADD, emotional attention deficit disorder. And that whenever you're not getting the attention, not you, Gina, who you are today, but that young person inside of you that's so unfulfilled, whenever that young person inside of you is not getting the attention she needs and wants and desires, then she has to do something to get the attention and to get the eyes back on her. But because she has a hole in her heart, no matter how much love and attention comes in, it spills out and it never feels fulfilling. What will it take, Miss Gina, for you to heal?
I just don't understand what to do anymore. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to walk. I don't know how to do anything.
The reason your intentions are being misread is because your heart is polluted with unforgiveness, with self-righteousness. It's not because you don't want to do the right thing. It's because the intention and the energy that you do it with is ugly. Clean up your heart.
Before I leave, these sisters need some tools to help them understand themselves and the mother whose issues they inherited.
If you don't get anything else, I want you to get this. That you've been loving each other from a place of brokenness without understanding that you couldn't even receive the love that was coming at you. I want you to understand that you were all competing for what you thought was a little bit of love on the table. You know what your mom shared with me? She told me that she wants y'all to be better friends. Let me be a little dramatic here for a moment. But if your mom were to close her eyes today or tomorrow for the last time, it's how you are right now, the memory you would want her to carry to the other side. Well, you better get it together quickly. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Thank you.
Take care of your mother. She did the best she could. And I always say, for mothers, when they look at the children and they see what a hot mess they are, and we as mothers feel, I did the wrong thing, I did it bad, I failed. You know what I say to myself? I say, I am the daughter in whom God is well pleased. God is well pleased with you, Miss Gwen.
Thank you.
He really is. Practice what you've learned. I'm out.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. You are the daughter in whom God is well pleased. Have faith. Have faith.
Right.